you. Everyone. I want to welcome you to our March 23rd regular meeting. I'm still waiting for Councillor Krog to show up around the corner here, so we'll just get started. I'll start with the land acknowledgement. We are privileged to meet near the confluence of the Kettle and Granby rivers, a location of ancestral importance to the hunters and fishers of the area's Indigenous communities. We have an agenda before us. Could I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Thank you, Councillor Lafleur, seconded by Councillor Mark. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. The minutes from March 2nd meeting, regular minutes are presented for adoption. Could I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Fleur. Any questions on the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. We're going to move right along to our reports. And so I'm going to start with, we'll start with Councillor Fleur this morning.
Good morning. March 9th, the Special Olympics BC Grand Forks held their annual fundraiser hosted at the Grand Central Car Wash. We got there a bit late and missed most of a hot dog and make a donation. On March 12th, as Council Liaison, I did attend the Rec Commission meeting. There was a discussion about the Parade of Programs event that was held on March 10th, which unfortunately due to cataract surgery that day I was unable to attend. However, the feedback that we heard at the meeting was this past Parade of Programs was the best turnout yet. My husband and I went to see the boundary production of Alice in Wonderland. I have to say that we thoroughly enjoyed this performance. So kudos to everyone involved in this production. It seems to get better and better every year. Can't wait to see what they have in store for us for next year. Thank you to Councillor Mark for attending the Grand Forks Trails meeting as my alternate liaison. Able to attend the meeting due to having cataract surgery that day. On Thursday, along with Mayor Baker, Councillors Thompson, Zielinski, and I attended the community meeting at the Gem Theatre to look at options for the future of the theatre. As this is an issue that will or could become at a later date, I won't make comments until we see what they present to Council. Due to missing the Trails meeting on March 20th, I met with Chris Moslin on Friday to get caught up. They're still looking for grants, but they're getting excited about potentially coming to us with an idea for stage 1 of the Black Train Bridge expansion. I'd like to give a shout out to the Boundary Medical Drivers Program. The people who volunteer and work with this program are lifesavers who take area residents to out-of-town medical appointments. I would especially thank the individual who picked me up at 5 a.m. on March 4th to take me to Kelowna Hospital. It was a long day. April 11th, Hoot Nanny Dinner and Dance with 5 minutes music by Kicking Horse Show Band will be at the Grand Center. This is a fundraiser, and all proceeds will go to Hardyview Lodge to pay for patio and courtyard renovations. Tickets are available at Mountain View Meats, and I encourage people to attend and support the fundraiser. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Thompson.
The Community Action Team held their monthly meeting March 5th, 2026. There will be a regional educational conference on May 26th in Trail. The topic will be the toxic drug crisis in BC. There have been overdoses in our city. Naloxone training will be given in Midway. May 10th, I spoke by telephone with a senior about issues that might be considered by the Accessibility Action Committee. These included disabled parking spaces not found near ramps. The Courtesy Kitchen has too many stairs for seniors with disability issues to access that facility. The door to the Habitat store is too heavy, and there are no railings on downhill sidewalks. These concerns are going to be sent by email to info@grandforks.ca. March 11th, the Chamber of Commerce Discover Grand Forks meeting. They have awarded a revamp of their website to Reflect Media, a company from Kelowna that promote tourism building. Per an RDKB bylaw, business signs must be removed. They asked if there was any city-owned land that might be used for signage. The AGM will be May 12th at the Wooden Spoon with doors opening at 5 p.m. In response to concerns I brought forward from the AAC, Andrews general manager asked that information be emailed to him, and he will circulate it to members. Along with Mayor Baker, Councillors Lafleur and Zielinski, I attended a public meeting regarding the future of the GEMS Theatre. There were several options put forward, including one that the city purchases the building. Mayor Baker advised that living in the city could send letters asking council to consider this option. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Just to clarify, the signage is actually transportation right away. It's actually not a bylaw from the RDKB. Where the signs are as you come down the hill into from Spencer Hill, those signs are actually on transportation right-of-ways, and therefore are been asked to have been removed. And so it's not really a condition of the RDKB. Director Weiss, you want to speak to that as well? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so.
There is an RDKB bylaw that as of 2018, no more of those signs are to go up either. So remove signs, right, billboards are no longer allowed. The old ones were grandfathered in. So.
And now they're being asked to be removed by the Minister of Transportation because it's their right of way. So they're actually on illegally parked.
No, those are on public, the red signs are on public land,
Yeah, so
or on private land.
So
So despite concerns, we cannot do anything.
Okay, so a business that wants to advertise their services can no longer put a sign.
Billboards are not allowed.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
correct.
Billboards, but just signage? Any signage?
No signage on that particular area because
Sure.
that's private. That's owned by the Ministry of Transportation. So
Okay, I'm talking about the area from nursery to,
I would assume that my answer to that depends on the definition of signs and signage. I don't know. A billboard, in my mind, is a particular thing, and there will be a rule as to what a billboard is. Other signage I can't speak to. Someone would have to ask the planning department and trail.
so that is what the business owner should do, is contact the planning
Yes,
department
always.
and check that out.
Yes,
Is it-
I would encourage them to do that.
Okay.
They may get hold of me and I can help smooth that transaction if they would like some support. That's
Okay.
what I'm here for.
Good, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
okay. You might as well just
Okay.
Linda Kay. Councillor Zielinski, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Other than enjoying the beautiful weather, nothing else to add to that.
Absolutely, the beautiful weather is right. Councillor Studley, being so studious over there in the corner.
To report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Mark.
Excellent. Not a whole lot for myself. I did attend the Grand Forks Community Trail Society meeting last week. Thrilled to see them again. Lots of good things they're working on. Definitely a hard working group. With nice weather getting started here and hopefully staying this time, I would encourage people in the community to look into some of these groups, such as the Trail Society or the ATV Club, and look at membership and helping or at least donating to help them. They do a lot around us, and it'd be good to support them. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Mark. Oh, Councillor Studley.
Just want to sort of add to that. The RDKB has a leisure guide both around town and online that gives a really good guide of all the community groups. So who knows, there may be a community group that you're interested in. I'm sure they're looking for volunteers and supporters, so feel free to check that out.
Yes, excellent. Excellent magazine. Thank you, Councillor Mark. Councillor Krog. Welcome.
Look, I figured out how to turn it on. Wow. Not too much. I did attend the Boundary Women in Influence Awards That was a fun evening. But the band had a medical emergency, and our fire chief had to fill in as DJ
Oh, that's
Fire
right, yes.
Dude.
That's right. Rogolov had a moment.
Yes,
That's
but it was well attended, and I won't go through a list of the winners, but the overall woman of performance was Kimberly Feeney from our local rescue, so that was kind of nice, and yeah, it was a fun evening, and that's about it.
good. Councillor Thompson?
And I just want to add that our Jaylene Padmaroff was one of the nominees.
Yes, she was in the category with Kimberly, and I was sitting at Kimberly's table, so I did wave at you. Just saying.
Okay, good. All right, everybody's butts covered now? Good, okay. Without further ado, Director Weiss.
Thank you. For Area D, Rural Grand Forks, yes? I would like to thank our first responders for their swift and effective action on Hardy Mountain. Yes. That was a little alarming. The RDKB property, the Macorda Village, that we're working to restore, was very vulnerable at that moment. It was those pictures were alarming, at least. I would like to thank our fire chief, Rich Pichet, for his work in keeping the residents of Area D safe. With the support of city staff, Chief Pichet has been able to be very effective in dealing with risks that are creating an unacceptable danger for our residents. His ability to find a way and get a job done is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Chief, for your good work in keeping us safe. Also of note was Area Town Hall that was held at the USCC Hall earlier this month. Our public meetings are always one of the very best attended and certainly the most enjoyable of all of the electoral areas in the RDKB. Rural Grand Forks has a group of passionately engaged residents who can be depended upon to show up and engage with the issues. I've had the pleasure of forming personal relationships with many of these folks, and I enjoy the consistency of seeing them at events this year. But this year was different. There was quite an unexpected number of new faces. It was interesting shaking hands and hearing stories and getting to know new people. Area D is growing. My last bit of news is that on the topic of secondary housing in Area D. Provincial Bill 44, which was passed into law in 2023, allows for attached residential suites in all areas as of that time. At this time, RDKB staff is in discussion with a provincial consultant what is to be done about secondary detached housing in rural areas. Once that phase of the project is completed, hopefully reasonably soon, area directors will be consulted on what seems best for the residents. After that, public consultation will begin. Please stay tuned for more dates and developments. As always, let's keep working together, and I look forward to our ongoing conversations. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. My report is somewhat simple this morning. First of all, I want to wish our counselor happy birthday. 33, I understand, and holding. Am I right? Yeah, that's good. Okay. Happy birthday, Christine. I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the sunshine. We'll try to get you out of here before 9 o'clock tonight. So, I have been involved in or attended the BMTS's Alice in Wonderland. I think I missed one performance, but again, I concur with Councillor Lafleur that it was a great production. They always do an outstanding job. The quality of the young people and older folks that are involved in the arts programs in Grand Forks is quite incredible, and every year is something fantastic, and my gratitude goes out to them for the hard work that goes into making that possible, and I look forward to what they might bring forward for next year. So I suppose I'll probably hear that in a few days now, so as I start on number 2. I have had some conversations with the provincial ministries, as normal. I've spoken to Interior Health. The provincial incentives for emergency medical doctors, nurses, comes to an end at the end of the month, and we've asked for an extension. And I've supported Interior Health. I've supported the government and the Interior Health ministers to support that incentive continues. It's an added bonus for doctors and medical staff that wish to come into rural British Columbia, and Grand Forks is part of that. So we'll see where that goes. I've had conversation with Forestry. I'm hoping to have some good news regarding Interfor here in a little while, but can't confirm that at this point. But so there's been some ongoing conversation regarding forestry and guaranteeing our jobs, the jobs here in Grand Forks. And with that, I will end my report. Again, lots of chatter going on with government regarding our grant application for our infrastructure work under the highway, and I will continue to put pressure on government to see that we're part of that funding stream. So, all right, with that, I will ask for a motion to receive the reports. Thank you, Councillor Fleur, seconded by Councillor Mark. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, moving along. Lots of development permits, variances, permits. Always good. You can always tell the spring must be in the air. Spring must be in the air in Grand Forks. Anyway, so development permit DP 2603, 6035 12th Street, renovation, development, and planning. I'll read the recommendation, then ask if staff or council has any questions of staff. So the recommendation is that council approves development permit DP 2603 for the proposed single-level addition of approximately 134 meters, including 37 meters covered patio to the existing 125-meter floor plan portion of the flood hazard development permit area, with site access occurring through the 25-year floodway area, and is to be constructed in accordance with the plans and conditions outlined in the development permit, and that prior to the insurance of the development permit, staff be authorized to secure a section 219 restrictive covenant in accordance to the OCP section 2.511 to be registered on title, and at the development stage the covenant must be referenced and incorporated the recommendation and flood construction requirements identified in the flood hazard assessment report prepared by Protect Consulting, attached as Schedule C to the permit. Does staff want to speak to this first and then put it to questions?
So, through your worship, you have a development permit for an area in unprotected floodplain. The engineering firm has gone through and addressed all of the concerns within the DP area, and staff are recommending approving the construction and the registering a covenant on title for the access.
Okay. Any questions from council? Councillor Studley.
Yeah, can we just confirm what part of that is new and existing, or is that all going to be new? So all on that side.
Sorry, without having the plans in front of me, I believe that's the front, so it would be the portion on the right. That's it. Can you bring it up, Kev, please?
Yeah, I see that. I just couldn't see anything to completely indicate new, old, existing. I just kind of saw that and I didn't. Yeah.
And the picture that was up earlier. So it's the proposed addition is on the north side of the house. The front would be facing 12th Street, and it would have been that other picture that showed. It would have been on the on the right side. Yeah, Kev, can you bring up the other one that shows a picture of the house? Yeah, so that's the front that was facing 12th Street, so it's the portion on the right with the carport. Yeah.
Okay. Councillor Thompson?
On the left, what is that? That looks like it's,
The existing home. I'm not sure why the dimensions are like that. I believe that because we just pull images from the application and the file, and so the specific page that comes from, those dimensions are obviously relevant for that particular page. But yeah, it was just a snapshot from the package that was submitted.
Thank you. Okay, any further questions? Councillor Zelinski?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. More of an observation when the consultant's recommendations, it looked like he was having some trouble trying to get the elevations correct as far as what we were looking for. So between this one and the other one we had at Portis's yard, sounds like our whatever they're looking at need clarification. Seems like there was some confusion there. Just for thought.
So through your worship, that's, you know, we've had some discussions with council recently about updating our land use in North Ruckle. We have residential lots and amalgamating in nature parks, and that's one of the items that needs to be updated now. That as soon as we've submitted all of our paperwork for flood mitigation, that'll be the next step.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Go ahead, Councillor Mark, sorry.
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to add, like, if we have things like this in the future, I would appreciate if we could include pictures of the actual site. Like I said, I've seen the house in person. I just happen to have been there before, but I think it would really help us for making decisions to actually have real pictures of the site included in these.
Okay.
I believe they're in the staff review document that may be attached, so but, if you'd like them in the report, we can certainly put them in the report.
Just on for
Yeah.
the future ones, that'd be
Yeah,
great. Thank
just
you.
at front and center, yeah, we
Yep.
can do that.
Okay. Moving on to development variance permit DVP 2601. This is for 8287 Riverside Road, exterior side parcel line development plan. Read the recommendation is that council approves variance permit DVP 2601 to reduce the exterior side parcel line setback from 4.6 meters to 1.5 meters under section 36-10C of the zoning bylaw number 2039 to allow construction of a 9.8 meter times 10.7 meter dwelling and a 7 meter times 5.5 garage with the potential suite above, and that the council vary section 33-1 visibility to zoning bylaw number 2039 to permit the proposed garage to encroach on the required 7.5 meters visibility triangle at the intersection of the lane and 33rd Avenue for the property located at 8287 Riverside Road in the R1 residential single and two family zone and designate RN residential neighborhood in the official community plan. Any questions for staff, council? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Planning Department, Planning Permit DP 2601, 6012th Street, new garage planning and development. The recommendation is that council approve development permit DP 2601 for the construction of a ground level concert style garage with a total building area of 5.5.74 meters to be constructed on a concrete pad at 6012th Street. The proposed development is located within the 25-year floodway development permit area and is to be constructed in accordance with the plans and conditions outlined in the development permit. And that prior to the development permit DP 2601, staff be authorized to secure a Section 219 restrictive covenant to be registered on title at the development stage. The covenant must reference and incorporate the recommendations and conditions identified in the qualified professional report attached as scheduled in the development permit. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Oh, did I not move it? Sorry. I apologize. Okay. Yes, we did move her. Thank you, Councillor Krog, seconded by Councillor Fleur. Now, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Sorry about that. I thought we did that right. Moving on to Source Water Protection Development Permit Introduction Plan and Development. The recommendation is that council receives this introductory report on the proposed Source Water Protection Development Permit Area, DPA, and that council directs staff to pursue Community Plan OCP Amendment Bylaw, completing legal and professional reviews, carried out required referrals, and following the legislative steps. Could I have a mover? Thank you, Councillor Zelinski, seconded by Councillor Fleur. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Councillor.
Is this going to take staff time that should be working on, that have to go for the grant funding?
So through your worship, and I did send an email. I did send an email to council there last week. So we pulled back a little bit. Originally, the resolution indicated we were going to have all of this stuff and back in April, and we were pretty excited and maybe a little overzealous. And Graham and I chatted about it, and council has strategic priorities. Those will take precedence. As soon as those strategic priorities are completed, then we will move back into the next steps. There's 200 homes impacted, and in doing our due diligence, there should be a fairly thorough engagement, and at this time we just don't have the resources to do that and get done the strategic priorities and the 2930 capital project. So as soon as they're done, this will be first on the list.
That won't change the actual recommendation. All right, I'll ask. Okay. Councillor Thompson?
I will support this, and I understand what you're saying, but what of the time?
So through your worship, there's no particular request. This came through Councillor Zelinski last year as a request for staff to look at it. So until it actually comes before council and council approves an actual development permit and those first readings in the amendment, no outreach or no consultation will happen until that time.
Thank you.
All right. We have moved and seconded to this, and so all those opposed, carried. Thank you, council. All right, moving on to bylaws. The 5-year financial plan bylaw number 2124, first 3 readings. The council gives first 3 readings to the 2026-2030 5-year financial plan bylaw number 2124. Thank you, Councillor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Fleur. Any questions? We've seen this before. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Fees and charges amendment by 1858-A19, electrical, water, sewer, and solid waste fees. Waste fees and charges. First 3 readings. The recommendation is the council gives first three readings to the fees and charges amendment bylaw number 1958-A19. Could I have a mover, please? Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Seconded by Fleur. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. On to pesticide use control bylaw. Number 2118, sorry. Third reading. Recommendation is that council gives third reading to the draft of pesticide use control bylaw number 2118 as presented at the October 2025 regular meeting and refer the bylaw for final reading and adoption at the April 13th, 2026 regular meeting. Staff.
Your Worship, there was an optional, so there's two, and so we'll need to add into the reso which option you're going with.
All right. Do you want to put the options up there, Kev, please? Thank you. Okay, option one is council could choose to give third reading to the amendment draft of bylaw number 2118, which removes paragraph 5.8 and 5.9, exempting pesticides used to control noxious weeds and invasive plants and insects, and to refer that version of the bylaw to the April 13th, 2026 regular meeting for adoption. Secondly, or council could choose not to give third reading to the bylaw and provide direction for further changes.
And if you give me a moment, Mayor,
Yeah,
I'll pull up those two sections for you.
Thank you. Do you want to speak to them, Kevin? I know you've been working on this.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, as noted in the report, the original feedback we had from the province last summer came back with several questions. One of which was, "Hey, you one form of invasive species, but not both. Was that intentional?" And initially, we took that to be, if you're including one, you need to include both. The additional feedback we got was that although it may seem counterintuitive, the municipality may in fact impose any restrictions on pesticide use for both control of noxious weeds and invasive plants, even if those noxious weeds and invasive plants are designated by the province. For example, in the boundary area, Horiolycium is one of those invasive species that is designated in provincial legislation to our geographic area. However, it is within the of overlapping in a responsibility that the municipality may put any restrictions on use of pesticides for that purpose.
For council, right now we're in an exemption section, so these would be exempt from the bylaw and would be exempt from the pesticide use. So essentially it's saying if you leave 5.8 and 5.9 in, you're saying that people could control the noxious weeds and could look after them, just so we're clear.
And we, as a municipality, if we were to include them, they would then fall under our jurisdiction, where now it's under the jurisdiction of the province. Is that correct?
So if you don't exempt them, then our bylaw will apply, which says you can't use pesticides.
Okay.
So if you want to continue to allow people to use pesticides on noxious weeds and invasive plants, then you would leave it as an exempt section through the province, Kev?
Yeah, that's correct. So because of the way the bylaw is structured into the provincial legislation, this is your, and I know Councillor Zielinski often talks about negatives, negative phrasing. This is a negative phrasing where if the exemption sections 5.8 and 5.9 appear, then the municipal bylaw does not apply for that use, as opposed to we are permitting that use because the province permits it.
Right. And I know we've heard from citizens. We've had a couple of emails sent in. My sense is then, if there's going to be, if there's going to be changes that has kind of been brought to our attention, this would be done at a provincial level. So it would mean advocating to government for the province to change those regs. Not, I mean, I guess we could do what we want, but then we're in trouble because we're outside the realm of our authority.
I'll just summarize just for the gallery and anybody online. So through your worship, the concern raised was that although the jurisdiction in pesticide control is limited and the province has made it clear what areas the municipality can regulate, the letter received, or the concern received, is this is a greater public health concern, and on public health grounds the city should control pesticide use under other and using other legislation, not the pesticide control legislation by the province. And so the city on principle could say, no, this is a greater public health concern, and the individuals who submitted believe that we would have legal grounds to stand on if it were challenged in court. I don't know that that's played out in BC to date, and so I can't say if that's accurate or not.
Okay. Councillor Krog.
Hey. Yeah, this, the letter refers to, and that court case said that the town can enact its own things, the province. My concern, I've been doing some research into it, and it was granted under the Quebec. So I'm trying to figure out how that City and Towns Act fits with our legislation in British Columbia and for Grand Forks, and I haven't got there yet.
I'm sure it is.
So
Councillor.
I don't know if it applies to us or
Okay.
would even work.
Councillor Mark.
Thanks. So to Councillor Krog was saying there, it is my understanding where we're at with the decision on this current bylaw is that the of regulating spray and spray drift as a public health concern falls outside of this bylaw, and it's not really a factor in the decision on this one today. I do think that is an avenue we should look at for an issue that we've been trying to deal with now but haven't been able to. As for section 5.8 and 5.9 in this current draft bylaw, I don't think that within our municipal boundaries we have enough of a invasive and noxious weed issue to really allow spraying, or I think it would be better not to, but that's my personal opinion.
Okay. Kevin, could you put up those two options again for me, please? Right. Okay. 5.8 and 5.9, right? Correct. Okay. Go ahead, Councillor Krog.
Yeah, the 5.8 and 5.9, when we're looking at it, noxious weeds, Horiolism is evil. Best way to control it is to pull it by hand. But to have somebody pull 5 acres of Horiolism by hand is it's been done by a few people, right? So I think that the danger of Horiolism, as opposed to, I think it should stay in.
Okay, so 5859 to remain. Councillor Mark?
I guess, yeah, through Councillor Krog there, I would clarify my point about removing these exemptions. The bylaw for within municipal boundaries. I don't see any 5-acre municipal boundaries that I'm aware of that are needing this. I agree there is a or spraying on large scale agricultural properties. I don't think that the contamination is justified within the city.
Okay, Councillor Fleur?
So within the city, we've seen wind. Horiolism seeds. Why? If we're going to try and help protect the farms in the regional district, in the city as well, because if we have Horiolism in the city, we know it's just going to spread to the next property, So I would rather leave the bylaw as it is.
Councillor Thompson, then Councillor Mark.
Thank you, Your Worship. Support a bylaw that is unenforceable with provincial legislation. It might be a feel-good, but when it comes to enforcement, we don't have a leg to stand on. So I can't support, as I said, any bylaw that provides unenforceable content. Thank you.
Councillor Mark, a follow-up?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Through to Councillor Lafleur. My point was that city properties generally are not, that spraying is the only option. I think that, yes, controlling Horiolism in the city is important, and other invasive species. I just think given the size of properties, it can be done by hand or other ways.
All right. So I would like my councillor to put forward a recommendation. Do we include 5.8, 5.9, or that we do not include 5.8? Councillor Krog? It be included. Okay. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Lafleur? Sorry.
Is this the unenforceable clauses? Or are these the unenforceable clauses?
These are the unenforceable.
You get in provincial hands to yep.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions based on the including? So the motion is to include 5.8 and 5.9. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right. Fire and Life Safety Bylaw number 2120. First 3 readings. Emergency Services. The recommendation is that Council gives first 3 readings to the Fire and Life Safety Bylaw number 2120 as presented, and to the associate bylaw number 1965-R to repeal the existing Fire and Life Safety Bylaw. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Fleur. Seconded by Councillor Mark. Questions? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, Council. Okay. Requests arising from correspondence. Flow-through donations for the Boundary Pipe Band Society. So I understand society that would like to be able to have the city accept donations their behalf. And I think it's 250, is that correct? 250? Okay. Councillor Fleur?
Make a motion on behalf of the pipe band.
Okay. Is there a seconder? Thank you. Any questions from council? We all enjoy pipe music? Well, there you go. There you go. Indoor kilt. All right. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Next is the Grand Forks Market in the park. And we got the request for the park just outside outside our hall here. And can I have a motion? Thank you, Councilor Mark, or a question? Go ahead. Prove it. All right. You'll second it. Yeah, you okay? All right, so Kevin, well, let's have your background first. It's been moved and seconded.
Thank you. So, yeah, the corporate department has had some extensive conversations with the organizers of this, and are working, still continue to work on some of the fine details. This one is set up a little bit differently compared to the existing farmers market society. And so staff have been taking a look at this from the perspective of the exclusive use bylaw, and as council has over the recent months, providing support to businesses or private individuals. The fees does not, when the exclusive use bylaw was brought in, did not include renting the park. And so the farmers market, for example, does not get billed for their use of Gyro Park. They are not a registered society. We have some concern there, and there is time for council to give us some direction. We've got several meetings before we want to start. If we did want to put something into fees and charges, I think that remains an option. We've also provided a couple of try to work through the different possibilities, but the last conversation I had with the organizer on the afternoon was that they really did prefer Lois Hagan Park compared to some of the alternate locations. And yeah, so apparently the intention is as the farmers market, they are planning to charge $300 per vendor for the season.
All right.
Yeah, because they're not a non-profit, that becomes your concern, is you're giving the space to an individual free of charge, and they're charging other people to set up vendors in that area. So that becomes a little more challenging in assistance to an individual. In the past, something council has considered or looked at, and you did it with the Music in the Park, the original go-around, is you had them connect with the chamber and had the chamber actually take the space, and then that group operate under the chamber. The skate park, something similar, you had the chamber become kind of the go-between the city, and had that group work with the chamber on the skate park as well. So it's just something we've done in the past.
All right, so let's, Councillor Krog, you brought forth the idea and you were on to some conversation, so I'll let you too.
Okay, that was a bit of my concern. Their setup and the charging. The other thing is, Kevin touched on it. They were told that there was other locations available.
Right.
And the one thing, I looked at the pictures, I'm like, okay, so where's the power coming from?
Right.
Gyro is set up with a power hub. So unless we tap into, what did it show on the map? Sunshine electric system? The old...
That's the old vehicle charger setup there that still shows up on the map. The organizers did indicate that they did not require power, and they were not available in Lois Hagan Park and considered that an acceptable situation for them.
Okay, just to follow up, yeah, so any of the food trucks that they have listed there are going to be running their gen sets. And is this because it's Wednesday night, which is music usually? So you've got music in the park where people go sit. You've got this. Are any of these people going to go over there? I doubt it. They're listening to music.
We had some of this discussion around with staff, and you know, maybe there'd be a more practical place, which would be at the art gallery or across the street or something if they were looking to attract, rather than trying to see if they're going to get them on Fifth Street up here afterwards. Right?
Yeah,
so there was some conversation about.
I like the idea of a little night market, but I think it needs to have a lot more work put into it. And then the whole part about monies. Dollars a season. I'm not even sure if the farmers market charges $300. I thought 80 or something.
Councillor Mark, and then Councillor Steve.
Just going into concerns about location and why they're not closer to Music in the Park. I know this person did contact Music in the Park people. They did have a conversation. I don't know the exact details of that conversation, but this is the end result of it.
Okay.
So this is what they preferred for whatever reason.
Okay. Councillor Mark, same.
Yeah, we've covered the points I wanted to bring up. I would like to withdraw my motion to approve this.
Okay.
I just wanted to get to the conversation. And I'd like to make a motion that we just refer this to later pending more information. I'd really like to talk with them. This comes up, like I should be able to ask some questions.
Sorry. Councillor Slinsky.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're not accepting it because they're not a registered society. Is that the reason? And then tell me what in being a registered society on public property and non. Why do we prefer the registered society part?
Do you want to speak?
I guess
speak
I
to
question. Yeah, it was so.
Staff?
Yeah. Not necessarily tearing it down, just I'd like to actually talk with the organizer on this. My only concern is, like we said, some clarification around the private business by giving them the park. You know, we wouldn't let somebody set up an auto in City Park, so it's kind of along the same thing. We need to figure out what we're doing with that, how that fits. Maybe we need to amend this bylaw for usage of a space if it is a private business. And then timing and locations doesn't make a ton of sense to me.
Councillor Slinsky? Okay. Okay. Councillor Studley, and then Councillor.
It's something similar to Councillor Mark. In theory, if you're private, the money could be going to you for private reasons. If you're not for profit, in theory, it's within the society to continue on that society, to benefit the society and expand that society. So it could potentially going into somebody's personal pocket for personal reasons, or to a society to benefit the community.
Do you want to speak, Councillor Fleur? Let's have Councillor Fleur first, then.
Okay.
Go ahead, Councillor Fleur.
I do have
Okay.
one.
It's going to be the location of the one food truck, because if they don't have access to electricity, we know those food trucks they're running. And I do have a concern with this not being a society. So.
Okay, Councillor Thompson, and then we'll.
Nope.
Oh, Councillor Cronk, and then we'll turn over to staff. Okay. Thompson, sorry, go ahead.
My question through to staff is, those societies that are occupying or using Gyro Park, are they required to have an emergency? And so this organization would also be required, if we approve this, to have insurance? And would an individual, I don't know, would they be, I guess, agent?
So the, yeah, anybody getting exclusive use is required to buy the exclusive use of public spaces insurance at a specified amount. My discussions with the or the proposed Wednesday night market indicated that her intention is to work of the BC Provincial Farmers Market Association, and would also be getting insurance coverage for the event. The exact of how that works when it's being organized by a private individual, I'm not sure what the details would be on that, but it would be a condition under our bylaw that insurance would.
Councillor Krog and then staff.
Okay. Yeah, last on it, brought up by the food truck concept. Generators would be loud. Another concern that I didn't see, or maybe I saw it and passed by it, would be washrooms and their availability. So unless City Hall or the credit union, well, no, there's no washrooms at the credit union. I still can't see on the concrete down between the library and music in the park would be freaking awesome. People can listen and shop.
Okay, Councillor Zelinski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the insurance part of it did come to mind, but like you said, we want event insurance anyway. The idea of using public property to put into a private individual, we do it at music at the park. They pass the hat around, it money goes in pockets. When we close Market Street for car show or something, the vendors, not that money goes into their pockets. So I don't see the relationship there. I don't know why we would say, I'm not a person that's going to judge an event's success or failure. Their plans are, it's their thought, their idea. Let them run with it. They can make a go of it, great. But to sit here and criticize people that want to put activity into the downtown, I think is not a good way to go. And so I'm trying to relate the two between Gyro Park. We've got Disco, assuming that that group is charging for their workshop. I don't know if they're a registered society, and we have other places like that. So I'm just trying to equate the two and why we're saying no.
I would, Zelinski's, I agree with that. I agree with Councillor Zelinski. And as a neighbor to this park, obviously one of the only neighbors, I don't foresee any issue from our perspective. If there was to be something going on at the funeral home at that later date, we would just reschedule, plan around it. But I think this draws people into our downtown core, and I think we should be there with the proper things in place. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And correct me if I'm wrong. There's a clause on the form that says if something goes wrong, we can shut you down.
Or I just have to respond to Keys with his two examples of music in the park. The money for the bands that are performing at the park, not the person, not to John. He doesn't get the money. This is different. This is an individual is getting the money for the work that she is providing. But your two examples were way off.
All right, staff or Councillor Mark, did you have a comment before we? Okay, go.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So I guess to Councillor Zelinski, and I think the nation of my motion now to, receive more information on this. We're not saying no. I just would like more information on how this policies and on what the organizers' plans are, and I'd like to talk with the organizer. I think it's a good idea. We're doing what we're supposed to. Secondly, with your examples, the business that occurs at those events is, well, secondary to the event itself is to get people downtown, which is the goal of this too. I can see that. But as it stands right now, it's a business operating on public space. Whereas, the car show is mostly just a bunch of people parking their cars, and yes, there are some vendors there as well.
Thank you. I'm thinking, is it not possible that we have this lady attend the committee, the whole meeting, and Vanessa? So, yeah. Okay, go ahead, staff.
I just want to clarify, there's just a lot of discussion around assistance to business, assistance to the individual. So council can assist an individual or can assist a business, and has in some cases. You just need to show that there's a return on value for the community or for the taxpayers of the community. There are other ways to do that. If you did want to move forward with this, you could set a fee and charge them a nominal amount, and then they are now renting the space, and then they can provide that service. That happens in many different places. Or you have that chamber option as well. So it isn't impossible to assist an individual or business. The threshold is much higher, and in this particular case, allowing them to use it so that they can run a night market may or may not meet that threshold, but there's other ways to do that if you want to.
Okay. Councillor Stutley?
Just want to add, quite easy to become a society, so I do kind of encourage them, if this is something they want to take on for years to come, that they do become a society. It's maybe 50 or $100. Like, it's, and the paperwork is fairly easy and straightforward to go through.
Okay, so am I looking at, okay, go ahead, Councillor. I was just thinking of invite them. Yeah, okay. Okay, all right, so having known that, we're next council meeting to speak to their wishes.
So would like answered as part, just so they can come prepared, talk about the plan.
Plan, the society, washroom,
Yeah.
and then again location, because they're saying they don't want to go to Shiloh Park. Right?
Yeah, we actually originally suggested that they, because Music in the Park has exclusive park, they could umbrella under that, and it sounds like they just have had some, it wasn't a no, but there was just some timing of, they decided that rather than delay things, they would look at alternate options, and this was the alternate option they came up with.
Washrooms are open 7 p.m. over across the street here.
Yeah.
So they're not available.
That was
Okay, so we've got the motion to moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you, council. All right, to the Grand Forks Ultimate Boundary Disc Summer Camps. Staff, do you want to speak to this? I know.
Your Worship, they are asking for 2 dates down at City Park, July 6th to the 9th, with access to the washrooms, and August 4th to the 7th with access to the washrooms. And our understanding is this is a youth camp put on through BC Ultimate, which is the provincial group.
All right. Councillor Zelinsky? Yeah. Here. Are you? Oh, okay. Okay, thank you, Councillor Clumps. Seconded by Councillor Krog. Any further questions? Yes, go ahead, sir.
just to put in that this isn't like the last one. is under the events detail page, it says a category type, private, open to members of the group or the association. Okay. Although viewing,
Yes.
throwing frisbees at each other would be public. So, probably be fun to watch.
Yeah, I've sat down a couple of years ago and watched them do their thing, so it's kind of fun.
No, seriously.
In the backyard. Schoolyard, probably. Yeah, throwing.
No, that's
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Lids off ice cream containers. So, all right. So, motion so moved. Seconded. Thank you, Councillor Krog, and all those in favor. Carry. Thank you, Council. Okay, so then we're releasing the medical clinic agreement, and it's been released from in camera. There for your attention. So I'll have a motion to move into in-camera. Thank you, Councillor Mark, seconded by Councillor Fleur. All in favor? Opposed? All right, so we'll take a few minutes just to move into in-camera.